The red set review of Strixhaven. We're powering on through all of the words in this set. Let's get started. Up first is Academic Dispute. Academic Dispute is a single red mana for an instant at uncommon. Target creature blocks this turn. If able, you may have it gain reach until end of turn. Learn. Target creature blocks this turn if able. So lure. It's another learn card where I'm just like, I'll wheel it, I guess. I'm not... If this is what I have to play in order to pay 3 mana, make a pest, although I guess I'm not making a pest with this one. It's not a lure. It's whatever that effect is. Yeah, why is it uncommon exactly? Let's wheel Academic Dispute. Not a big fan of it. Up next is Ardent Dust Speaker. Ardent Dust Speaker is 4 in a red for a creature Minotaur Shaman at uncommon. It's a 3/4. Whenever Ardent Dust Speaker attacks, you may put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. If you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. It's a lot. So it's a 5 mana 3/4. Meh. Whenever it attacks, if you have an instant or sorcery in your graveyard, you can jam it onto the bottom, which is virtually the same as in your graveyard. You can exile the top 2 cards of your library, and now you have a momentary hand. Maybe you get a lore hold trigger from a card leaving your graveyard, I guess. Provoke, that's what it is, yeah. 6th through 8th pick, yeah. Like, there's a lot of steps for this to do a thing. Let's go 6th through 8th. I'm not sold on this. I'm not sold on it at all. Up next is Blood Age General. Blood Age General is 1 in a red for a creature Spirit Warrior at common. It's a 2/2. Tap. Target attacking spirits get +1/+0 until end of turn. If you're spirit heavy, here you go. This is a card that is okay. And as it's approaching okay, you can attack in for 2 with it. And then when it's outclassed, you can tap it to attack with your spirits. Seems okay. You obviously have to build around it. I'm not going to pick it early. I'm going to pick it pretty late, actually, I think. Like, it's just a 2/2 until you get up to spirits. But it'll be a very good role player. It's something you're very happy to see pack 2 and pack 3 once you know you're heading in there. I'm going to go... We did see a lot of spirits when we checked out how many spirits there were. I'm going to go like 6th through 8th pick in pack 1. Obviously, pack 2, pack 3, it can go up quite a bit. But I'm not going all in on this just because I see a Blood Age General. As well, one of the things that I'll try to keep in mind is it's very common to think spirits, flyers, haha. The spirit tokens don't fly. How many of the spirit cards fly? There are 10 less than rare spirits. 3 of those 10 fly. 3 of those 10. 1 is uncommon. Yeah, I'm happy with what I gave that card. Up next, we have Conspiracy Theorist. Conspiracy Theorist is a 1 in a red for a creature human shaman. At rare, it's a 2/2. Whenever Conspiracy Theorist attacks, you may pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards, you may exile 1 of them from your graveyard. If you do, you may cast it this turn. So it's a bear that you can pay 1 to rummage. And if you rummage a non-land, you have a moment to actually cast it. That's kind of cool. This card's pretty decent. Probably 4th, 5th pick range. I'm picking bombs over it. I'm picking removal over it. I'm picking ever so slightly better cards over it. But it's fine. 4th, 5th pick for Conspiracy Theorist. Repeatable rummage is pretty decent. Although, if you're repeatedly rummaging by attacking in with this, you must be in a pretty damn good spot if you're just reliably attacking with your 2/2. Up next is Crackle with Power. Crackle with Power is XXX, red. For a sorcery at Mythic, Crackle with Power deals 5 times X damage to each of up to X targets. So for 5 mana, you can deal 5 damage to something. So you've got yourself a Lava Axe / Turn to Slag? Whatever it was that was 3 red, deal 5 damage to a creature. If we hit 8 damage, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. If we hit 8 damage, we get to do 10 damage to 2 targets, one of which is our opponent's face, probably killing them. This is very similar to Fight with Fire, it feels like. This is fantastic. This is a first pick. This is removal I like because this removes the opponent. First pick. Up next is Draconic Intervention. Draconic Intervention is 2 red for an F. Up next is Oh, wait, no, I got those backwards. This is the F. Draconic Intervention is 2 red for a sorcery at rare. As an additional cost to cast this spell, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Draconic Intervention deals X damage to each non-dragon creature, which will be basically every creature in the set, where X is the exiled card's mana value. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. Exile Draconic Intervention. Okay. So it's a conditional wrath. You sort of have control over the condition in that you get to choose the card, but of course the card has to be in your graveyard first, which you don't have quite as much choice over. Yeah, this is fine. You can... The fact that this will nigh on guaranteed be symmetrical knocks it down a bit for me, which means you want to be beefy so that you know you're going to be beefier than your opponents. So we could probably go 4th, 5th on this, I think. People will pick it higher, which means I'll never play it. But let's go 4th, 5th on Draconic Intervention. Dragon's Approach is an F. 2 and a red for a sorcery at common. Dragon's Approach deals 3 damage to each opponent. I'm not playing 3/5 of a Lava Axe. You may exile Dragon's Approach and 4 cards named Dragon's Approach from your graveyard. If you do, search your library for a dragon creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. A deck can have any number of cards named Dragon's Approach. We know, we're playing limited. Yeah, there's 2.4 copies of a common in any given draft pod. There's less than that because we only have 9 commons per pack instead of the usual 10 commons. You're not getting 5 of these. You're not getting 5 of these and one of the mythic dragons, which are the only dragons in the set. This is an F. Up next is Efreet Flame Painter. Efreet Flame Painter is 3 and a red for a creature Efreet Shaman at rare. It's a 1/4 with double strike. Whenever Efreet Flame Painter deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Not a huge fan of this card. We've seen basically this card. We've seen 1 power, often double striker, in red that does something really cool if it hits. And they never hit. They never hit because it's real freaking easy to block this. We had something Flame Speaker, I believe, from... I don't remember what set that was from. We had the one that did amazing stuff in Constructed, but did not do anything in Limited just a year or 2 ago. That Flame Speaker was our? Okay, yeah. These are really hard to hit with, and you're paying 4 mana for it. By the time you're paying 4 mana for a creature, your opponent can block a 2-power creature real easy. Real easy. I think this is a constructed plant. I think these don't work out. They always look great, but they don't work out. They don't work out the way you want. So realistically, I'm not picking this. I'm never playing this because I'm picking this like 6th through 8th. Probably 6th through 8th, maybe 4th through 5th, but probably 6th through 8th, which means I'm never playing it because everybody else is first picking it or second picking it. Yeah, if you have Portal Serpent, you can get through, or you could hit them with something bigger. Up next is Enthusiastic Study. Enthusiastic Study is 2 and a red for an instant at common. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample until end of turn and learn. I wish this was like 1 mana cheaper, but 3 mana, 3/1 trample and draw a card? Sure. Hey, look, we found the red learn card I like. Yeah, this is still not amazing. Like, I'm still not first picking this. I'm not second picking this. I'm not third picking this. I'm not fourth picking this. I'm not fifth picking this, I don't think. I think I sixth pick it. Like, I'll pick this up pre-wheel, but not very highly. So let's go 6th through 8th pick for Enthusiastic Study. Up next is Explosive Welcome. Explosive Welcome is an instant at uncommon. Explosive Welcome deals 5 damage to any target and 3 damage to any other target. Add red, red, red. No. 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 8 mana? 8 mana? We get a 3 mana discount, but 8 mana is your turn. That 3 mana is probably not going to be much mana for you to do much else with. I am going to wheel this card and I'm going to pick it up when I know that I'm doing stuff with big mana costs. Whether that be ramping into them, discarding them, using them as an effect for another card, etc. But I'm wheeling it until that point begins. Up next is Fervent Mastery. Fervent Mastery is 3 red, red. How has this never been a card name before? 3 red, red for a sorcery at rare. You may pay 2 red, red rather than pay the spell's mana cost. If 2 red, red was paid, an opponent discards any number of cards, then draws that many cards. Search your library for up to 3 cards, put them into your hand, shuffle, then discard 3 cards at random. No. You can't make me do that. And I won't. This is an F. Now you have Cardboard Live? How did you refreshing kill Heat Map? All right. Heat Map has been re-enabled. I guess I changed when I went downstairs, so maybe that was what it was. Heat Map should be back. But other people had Heat Map. How do Twitch extensions work? I don't even know. This is an F. This is an absolute F. You don't want to be doing Wheel of Fortune-ish stuff. Not exactly Wheel of Fortune, don't at me, by paying 2 red, red, and you don't want to be drawing 3 cards and then discarding 3 cards at random. That's a terrible plan. F. Up next is First Day of Class. First Day of Class is 1 and a red for an instant at common. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste until end of turn. Learn. This one's not awful. It's not great. It's a sort of 2 mana tax on your creatures to get counters, and then you get to learn. Like, if you could go off by somehow using this to trigger something that makes a creature, you've maybe got something started there, but I think this is like, I think this is 6th to 8th, if not wheel. This is why I'm so unsure about Lesson and Learn in this set. Is like the vast majority of the Learn cards, I'm just like, I don't want to pick this and play this. And the Lesson cards are like, I don't want to pick this. I don't have to play it. I put it in my sideboard, but I don't want to use a pick on it. This is why I'm way less bullish on Lesson Learn than other people. Up next is Fuming Effigy. Fuming Effigy is 3 and a red for a creature spirit at common. It's a 4/3. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, Fuming Effigy deals 1 damage to each opponent. What's your payoff for Lorehold? It is just a Borderland Minotaur that maybe does some damage. It's okay. But like, you're probably 6th through 8th picking this at the absolute most. Like, there's no way you're picking a vanilla 4/3, 4th through 5th pick. You don't know that you're in this deck 4th through 5th pick. You're not getting into this deck because of this card, because a lot of the good cards that do the lore hold thing are on commons and rares. You need to be picking them first. If you don't get them, this doesn't do much of anything. So I'm going to 6th through 8th pick this, and obviously it goes up in value significantly when you get into this deck. Up next is Grinning Ignis. Grinning Ignis is 2 and a red for a creature elemental at uncommon. It's a 2/2. Pay a red, return it to its owner's hand, add colorless red. Activate only as a sorcery. If you're trying to storm, here you go. I would advise you to not try to storm. And as much as I advise you to do that, I know you're going to do that. So here you go. You get late game and a bunch of mana. You pay a red. And you return this to your hand. Then you cast it for free because you just got 3 mana. And then you pay a red. Then you return it. And then you cast it for free. And you're storming off. And then you cast your Grape Shot. Here's the card for you. I'm not going to attempt to do that. Not until real late in the format. Yeah, realistically, this is like a... Because it's not even triggering Magecraft because it's not an instant or sorcery. Well, it doesn't even help with Prismari stuff, right? You're getting a 2 mana bonus because you have to pay that 1 mana. So I'm going to put this like wheel, to be honest. I don't think it does much else. Up next is Hall Monitor. Hall Monitor is a single red mana for a creature lizard shaman at uncommon. It's a 1/1 with haste. Pay 1 and a red, tap, target creature can't block this turn. This is much less good than the Serpent and the Vortex, whatchamacallit, because target creature can't block is way worse than target creature can't be blocked. Yeah, I don't like these 1/1s for 1. I don't like most of the 1-drops in this format, and I hope I'm not playing them, really. The fact that you have to pay mana for this absolutely sucks. So I'm on like a wheel here, and I'm finding it difficult to find a spot for this. Like this is asking my opponent to not play creatures so that I can target their one singular creature. And if they only have one singular creature, why wouldn't I, instead of paying 2 mana for this creature, just play something better? Wheel. Up next is Heated Debate. Heated Debate is 2 and a red for an instant at common. This spell can't be countered. Heated Debate deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. It's Doom Demon Bolt, but worse. It's fine. 4th through 5th pick for the first one. Again, as I've talked about, I'm not that high on removal that much anymore. So I'm not looking to load up on these, but 4th through 5th pick. As much as I'm not high on removal, you still need some, and you still need to pick it respectably highly. Just don't go nuts on it. 4th, 5th pick. Up next is Igneous Inspiration. Igneous Inspiration is 2 and a red for a sorcery at uncommon. Igneous Inspiration deals 3 damage to any target. Learn. Is this a second red learn card that I like? This is fine. Sorcery speed hurts it a decent bit, but getting to kill something and or deal 3 damage to your opponent's face and getting to learn is pretty decent. Again, the issue here is like, at least I get to learn into something that I know what it is. If I still have a lesson, those lessons aren't great, but at least I know what they are. If I don't have a lesson, I can rummage, but you know, I'm on like a 4th, 5th pick for this, I think. 3 damage isn't an absolute crap ton. 6th through 8th, I think, is too low. Let's go 4th, 5th for Igneous Inspiration. Up next is Illuminate History. Illuminate History is 2 red for a sorcery lesson at rare. Discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards. Then if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, make a 3/2 spirit. Okay. This card gets infinitely worse the later the game goes on. But if it's in your sideboard, you learn into it, whatever. Although I guess worst case scenario, it's a 4-mana 3/2. Yeah, it's another rare you don't want, but be aware, this is maybe in the lesson slot. Who knows how it works? Because I feel like all the messaging from WotC was you can get 2 rares in your packs because of the Mystical Archive. They never said anything about you can get 3 rares in your packs. And then suddenly, this article pops up that mentions there's a lesson slot in the deck that doesn't include uncommons. Yeah. This lesson's fine, but again, I'm not spending a high pick on any lesson, really, and certainly not this one. I think I wheel this, which means I never see it. Yeah, let's wheel Illuminate History. Up next is Illustrious Historian. Illustrious Historian is 1 and a red for a creature human shaman at common. It's a 2/1. Pay 5, exile it from your graveyard, make a tapped 3/2 spirit creature token. So it's a piker, and much later in the game, it's a 3/2. That's fine. Totally okay card. You can 6 through 8 pick this and not feel awful. You could also wheel this and be pretty okay with it. So let's go 6 through 8 pick for Illustrious Historian. Up next is Mascot Interception. Mascot Interception is 3 and a red for a sorcery at uncommon. This spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature token. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, gains +2/+0 and haste until end of turn. Hey, look, it's the threaten effect of the format. Wheel it. Wheel it, and if your deck is appropriately set up to use a threaten, which typically means aggro, go ahead. Otherwise, don't play it. I don't tend to play threatens, but I know some people like them a little bit more. And here you go. And maybe it'll be even a little bit cheaper if you steal a token, but steal something bigger. Yeah, you can get a gigantic fractal. Yeah, let's go wheel on Mascot Interception. Up next is Pigment Storm. Pigment Storm is 3 red for a sorcery at common. Pigment Storm deals 5 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead, so it's got trample. 5 mana sorcery speed, 5 damage to a creature. This is a pretty low pick. This is like 6th through 8th pick, I think. This is around where like Turn to Slag would have been taken. You're not taking this very highly. You're also not loading up on these. So 6th through 8th pick for Pigment Storm. Up next is Pillar Drop Warden. Pillar Drop Warden is 3 and a red for a creature spirit dwarf at common. It's a 1/5 with reach. Pay 2, tap, sacrifice Pillar Drop Warden, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, activate only as a sorcery. I mean, this is just the giant spider of the format. Like this is literally just a giant spider. You put this in your deck if you think you might be weak to flyers. You bring it in out of the sideboard. It's got a nice little bonus that if it turns out that this is just not being relevant, you could buy something back. I think you can wheel this pretty reliably though, and it's got the lore hold kind of mechanic going on. Up next is Retriever Phoenix. Retriever Phoenix is 3 and a red for a creature Phoenix at rare. It's a 2/2 flyer with haste. When Retriever Phoenix enters the battlefield, if you cast it, learn. As long as Retriever Phoenix is in your graveyard, if you would learn, you may instead return Retriever Phoenix to the battlefield. So 4 mana 2/2 flyer haste. Sure, that's fine. And it comes back by you not utilizing your learn, which is fine. I don't like the lessons that much. I like a 2/2 flying haste better. This card's fine. You get to learn when you first cast it. It's probably just a first pick. There's not much. I'm taking over it. Yeah, let's first pick Retriever Phoenix here. Up next is Start from Scratch. Infinite with a sack effect. It only learns when you cast it. So you require an infinite learn engine as well. Up next is Start From Scratch. Start From Scratch is 2 and a red for a sorcery lesson at uncommon. Choose one. Start From Scratch deals 1 damage to any target or destroy target artifact. No. Like, wheel, and this should be one of your last picks. If it ever comes up that this is relevant and you can learn into it, cool. But do not ever waste an actual real pick on this card. There's just not artifacts, and there's not that many X1s that are relevant. Up next is Stormkiln Artist. Stormkiln Artist is 3 and a red for a creature dwarf shaman at uncommon. It's a 2/2. Gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, create a treasure token. This is a lot of work to get a really high power 2 toughness creature. It's fine. I like getting the treasure tokens. I like that that's going to get me up to my Prismari mana that I need. Perhaps a little bit quicker. That ramp is really interesting to me. The fact that this gets a power boost does not super matter to me all that much. Yeah, the 4 mana is what's really hurting this for me. I think this could easily have been 3 mana at uncommon. Yeah. I guess maybe I'm around 4th, 5th. I might be around 6th, 8th to this. It just requires a bit of work to get going. The treasure tokens will be nice, but it does require some work to get going. So let's start out. The treasures will buff it, but it doesn't get toughness boost, so it still just trades down real quick. Trades down with 2 drops, trades down with some 1 drops. Yeah, let's go 6th through 8th pick, I think, on Stormkiln Artist. Up next is Sudden Breakthrough. Sudden Breakthrough is 1 and a red for an instant at common. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. That's my favorite combat trick. Very cheap red combat trick that gives a power boost and first strike. That is my combat trick. And I get a treasure token. Cool. It's a wheel. You don't spend a real pick on this, but you play it. It's way easier to find a spot for this combat trick than it is for most other combat tricks, but you still wheel your Sudden Breakthroughs. Why does Sudden Breakthrough not learn? Were you not learning when you had a breakthrough? Come on, come on. Up next is Tome Shredder. Tome Shredder is 2 and a red for a creature wolf at common. It's a 2/2. It's got haste. Tap, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on Tome Shredder. Sweet. My creature that I'm putting counters on has to tap to do it. Got there. If you need an enabler for your lore hold stuff, here's your enabler for your lore hold stuff. But you pick this up when you have a reason to be enabling your lore hold stuff. Otherwise, this card is a hasty 2/2, which is not the worst. When it can't attack, you can put a counter on it by getting rid of a sorcery or an instant. But I think you wheel this card. Maybe 8th pick. Up next is Twin Scroll Shaman. Twin Scroll Shaman is 2 and a red for a creature dwarf shaman at common. It's a 1/2 with double strike. No. 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 Wheel this card. Probably don't put it into your deck. What did we have? We had Murderous Redcap, right? Not Murderous Redcap. That's a different card. What was the Redcap from Eldraine? Not Weaselback. Raging. Raging Redcap was literally this card, right? Raging Redcap had a variety of decent equipment in Eldraine that could be played on it. And so it was a little bit better. It also had a much better aggro deck, right? I don't think this will reach the heights of Raging Redcap, which also didn't really reach heights exactly. So wheel this, and I'm going to have a tough time, I think, finding a spot for it. Leo, thanks for that follow. Ooh, we're done red. We're done red. Thank you very much for watching, YouTube. I will see you all next for the green set review, and then the colorless, artifact, lands, and the other one, Mystic Archives. See you soon, YouTube.